So here is my point. So here's my x value, here's my y value. And then this line is only helpful to us because of its slope. We're just going to use it for its slope, and then we're going to throw it away. So we got to figure out what is the equation of this line, just in slope-intercept form, because standard form does not help us. So we have 2y equals negative 3x plus 4. One of the most common mistakes I see is people moving this over without changing the sign. So don't forget to do that. It happens a lot. So try not to do that. Then we're going to divide all the things by 2. Great. That's going to disappear. So y equals negative 3 halves x plus 2 is my equation, but I need this slope. So my m equals, I meant to write an equal sign, not an e. My slope equals negative 3 halves. So that's my slope, but I need my perpendicular slope because it says write equation of a line that is perpendicular to that line. So let's figure out the perpendicular slope. So remember, this is the perpendicular symbol, and m is the letter for slope. So this means perpendicular slope. So we're going to flip it and change the sign. Voila! It went from negative 3 halves to positive 2/3. So now we have our slope and we have our point. So our perpendicular slope is 2/3. Our point is this, and then it's just simply the y equals mx plus b thing we did yesterday, where we plug our y, our m, and our x, and we solve for b. So make sure you see where everything came from. Your y, your m, and your x are all things that we have determined. Make sure you're using the perpendicular slope because it says the word perpendicular here. All right, let's solve. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So negative 1 equals 4 plus b. And then we're going to subtract 4 on both sides. So you get negative 5 equals b. And then make sure you don't just write in the slope or just write in what the b value is for this. It's once the equation of the line. So y equals our slope times x. And then we put our b. So it's a negative 5, so you say minus 5. Pretty simple. Okay, so I want you to figure out the slope of this equation real quick, and I'm going to pause and have you figure this out. Actually, I'm just going to show this. Okay, so here is the equation that I got. One thing I want to point out, and this was different than the previous example. See how this is a negative 2 here, which I think it is. Yeah, it actually is a negative. So you see how that's a negative? It ends up dividing everything by a negative. So instead of this being negative 5 halves, it becomes a positive. Instead of this being a positive 1, it becomes a negative 1. So just make sure that you see that and you change that. That's something that you have not seen yet, so maybe you mix that up. And then notice what's going on here. Here's my slope. Did I change that slope from here to here? I did not. Can anyone tell me why I did not change the slope that we got here? You know, Casey? Yeah, it's asking for parallel. So before it was asking for perpendicular, so I changed it. Here it just asked for parallel. So once I determine the slope, I just plug the numbers in. So negative 6 equals 5 halves times negative 4 plus b. And all of these, this just came from my point. And then my parallel slope, which is the same. So negative 6 equals negative 20 divided by 2 plus b. So negative 6 equals negative 10 plus b. I'll add 10 on both sides and get a positive 4 because negative 6 plus 10 is positive 4. So my formula or my equation is y equals 5 halves x plus 4.